friends, and in this video we are going to learn about a very powerful tool in Python called as Lambda function. Now what are the Lambda function? Lambda functions are the anonymous function, means they do not have any name, and they are very much like the inline function. So before giving unnecessarily long lecture about them, I would like you to see practically how do they work. So first, here I have opened my PyCharm, and in the PyCharm I write my lambda function, right? X equals, okay, let me increase its font size so then you can see it nicely. So x equals lambda, and then this is the parameter. A is the parameter of the function. So I hope that you understand about the Python functions. If you not, then you can watch our Python functions videos and then you can learn more about them. So A is the parameter of the function, and now the function should do something. What this function will do? This function will simply return the value of A plus 9. So whatever value you pass to the function, this function is going to return your value, that value plus 9, and that will be stored into this variable called x. Now how to call this function? So when you call this function will also return you a value, because this is returning you a plus 9. So you need to store it somewhere. You can write like y equal to x. Now see how I'm calling this function. I'm not writing any name, just writing x bracket, and then I'm passing the value of a. Suppose if I pass 12, so 12 plus 9, that will be the value returned by the function, and that will be simply stored into the variable y. So if I print the content of y, so print y, and then if I run, then there you see the result is 21. So now this function, if I just try to compare this function with another function, normal function, and let me define this function def, I say that the sum, I name it as a sum, and this function takes a parameter that is a, and then here I write return a plus 9. This is doing the same thing what the lambda function is doing. Now how do we call this function? You can directly call this function like print, and the name of the function sum, and then pass the variable 12. So there you see that this function and this lambda function both are returning you the same values, 21 each. But this function, lambda function, does not have a name. It just have a different style. This looks like an inline function. So just pay attention to its syntax, lambda, and then a, and then colon. So just before the colon, whatever it is, that is called the parameter. This a is the parameter. A plus 9 is the operation that the function does and returns you the value that is getting stored into this variable x. So when you call this function, how do you call it? You simply write x and then 12. So this 12 is the a, so that goes, and then 12 plus 9 returns, and that is stored into the variable y. And now when I'm printing the content of y, I do find it as 12 plus 9, that is 21. And this function def sum, this is the definition of the sum. Sum is the name, and in the argument here you see there is the argument of the function, that is a, and here it properly syntactically returning your value a plus 9. So you are so sure, but here also it is doing the same thing, but it's not having any keyword return there. So it just returns you the value from there, a plus 9, and there, and when you call this value, you call this value like this, print sum, name of the function, and then 12, that is the argument which goes into a. Now, so I think that you might have understood the difference between the lambda function and the sum function. This is a normal function, and this cannot be completed. The execution of this function cannot be completed without CPU, but this is very much like the inline function. It saves the overhead cost of the CPU. Without involving the CPU, this function execution can be achieved, and it just saves the CPU's overhead cost. So this is a very powerful tool. Now I take one more function, lambda function. Here I want to offer it the three variables a, b, and c. So it means it will take three parameters. One is a, b, and c. These three are all parameters. And suppose if I say that return me the product of these three, a into b into c divided by 100, then that will be it's returning you a into b into c divided by 100. And now when you call this function, here you have to pass the 3 arguments. One is a, suppose I pass 1000, and then b I take it as 5, and then c I take it as 2, and then I pass. So now this function, this line does not need anymore. So when I run this function, then you see 100. So this 1000 into 5 into 2 divided by 100 will give you 100.0. This is the float value, and this is how the lambda functions work, and I hope that you have understood. So practice some more problems based on the lambda functions, like how to find the modulo operator, how to find the greater numbers of the different functions, and then you will be a better position to understand it. So practice more and more, and thank you very much, and then keep watching and subscribe to our video. Have a nice time. Have a very nice time.